Do we have Akosua here, please?
Yes, please, I'm here.
Fantastic. You're very welcome. Akosua Osei
Thank
is
you.
the founder of Be Tech Connected. You know, I love ladies in tech, honestly. An organization empowering young people for the future of work while bridging the gap between African talents and global tech opportunities with a mission centered on skills, development, training, and mentorship. Akosua spearheads initiatives that resonate with the rapidly evolving landscape of technology and employment. And honestly, that landscape is rapidly evolving. As the convener of the Future of Work event, Akosua brings together tech leaders, industry players, professionals, and young minds. This conference serves as a platform to educate and empower attendees on navigating the challenges and opportunities presented by the future of work. With over 5 years of experience as a business development and tech sales professional, Akosua has worked and consulted for tech startups such as GoGo Wash, Aya Headquarters Techstars, Cello Foundation, Developers in Vogue, Digits, Survey 54, now Safio, FHL Group Africa. Her expertise extends to moderating conversations, making her a host for business and tech events. Meaning that Akosua can even come and take this my job for me and introduce herself and do everything. That's the versatility and multifaceted side of women. In her upcoming speaking engagement, Akosua Osei will share insights into the transformative work of Be Tech Connected and her perspective on how women can leverage technology for growth, not just in their personal lives, but careers and businesses as well. Her mantra is that an individual skill set is not solely dependent on years of work experience, but rather on hard work and perseverance. You see, we keep hearing hard work and perseverance. This conference is true to self. Akosua, you are very welcome to the Growth Conference, and we are here for you. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear. Yes, we can
Awesome.
hear you, Akosua.
All right. So, okay. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I'd want to say Allah for the invitation to the other for putting together Salah, initiative. I know for the start of a year like this, everybody is looking for initiatives like this to pep themselves up, to prepare themselves for the year. And one of the things I say to myself is once I've defined my why and my how, I should be able to achieve progress. So I believe all our lovely participants here have defined their why for joining the Growth Conference and how they are going to leverage on all the information from the amazing speakers to have a fruitful 2024. So thank you for having me. Yeah, so when it comes to leveraging tech for growth, I mean, tech is very broad and the subject of growth is also very broad. But I believe one way or the other, all of us here, we do leverage tech. And tech, I always want to say, is an enabler, is a tool for maximization, is as a tool for providing efficiency. So you would want to ask yourself that in what areas of your life are you not using tech that you want to use tech to improve on your life or to improve whatever you are doing? That's why I'm looking to focus on areas as like your personal life. So talk about your personal life, narrowing it down to this theme of the event, which has to do with reinventing and relaunching ourselves as women for growth. You realize that when it comes to personal development, one way you can leverage tech is by joining initiatives like this. I mean, there are a lot of learning platforms aside initiatives like this. There are a lot of learning platforms online that you can actually chance on books on personal development, not just personal development, but if you are looking to shape up your skills, you could equally join online platforms. I could speak to Coursera. I could speak to I mean, a number of them, aside Coursera, we have Udemy, yes. And also one of the things I do promote when it comes to having to leverage tech, that if you are moving from the angle of personal development, but you want to take tech as a career course by joining communities, because having a community creates an avenue for you to easily learn and easily share. Tech can be very tough for someone who wants to venture into it as a skill to, I mean, for career, because when you are starting as a beginner, there's a lot of challenges, or there are a lot of ways that you have to navigate on your own. But if you have a community that you are part of, you can be in learning groups that you are sharing like challenges with people who are similar as you, who are looking to, I mean, grow in their tech field, or looking to, I mean, have a tech skill to make money or to build a career in. So I do encourage people to join tech communities. There are a number of tech communities. There are communities for women. I see that they're not just women here, but there are also some gentlemen around. But I'll speak to some women tech communities. We have women in tech as a community. We have Black Sis dot as for Black women who actually want to learn STEM courses. We have Tech Connect Africa. Tech Connect Africa is a global community that gives people access to global opportunities like jobs, internships. So if you are looking to go beyond your scope of environment for jobs when it comes to tech roles, you could check them out. I'm going to share a couple of resources in that regard with probably the administrator or the host, so that they could share in the comment section, or any other place that all our listeners or our viewers here would have access to. Now, looking at leveraging tech and business, I'm going to also tackle it from the point where we are running small businesses. You know, when you're running a small business, there are a lot of facets to the business that you might not have the bandwidth of cash to hire labor for. But tech can actually help you to reduce your cost labor. How? By leveraging on certain tools. For instance, you want to put together your accounting. There are tools like QuickBooks. There are aside QuickBooks, there are other applications that you can actually leverage on, that you could put your finances together. You are looking to go about your HR. An amazing thing about tech tools is you realize that most of these tech tools gives you the avenue to start on from the free version before you can actually improve by subscribing to a paid version. So these are avenues that these are some tools that you leverage in your business. We could look at Canva. Who here doesn't use Canva? I mean, if you are starting up, you might not have the cash to go for a pro graphic designer, but Canva gives us the leverage for all of us to be designers. There are people doing crazy stuff with Canva. There are people creating websites actually with their Canva. And you have to also be a self-learner if you really want to leverage tech. And amazing thing is we have YouTube, which is a university. So now you don't have any excuses of saying that I can't learn or there are no resources around. Tech itself gives people the platform to have access to an array of information everywhere to be able to empower themselves. Yes, so that's what I would want to speak to. So the subject on leveraging growth, I believe, is not as, or if we are targeting it from the angle of personal development, career development, there are so many opportunities and applications that tech makes it possible to have access to actual growth. If I'm going to touch it from the point of having to learn tech skills or looking to enter into tech as a career. Now, there are a couple of things that probably there are some people here that you are looking to venture into tech, but then you are considering what kind of skill or role would suit you. One of the things I always advise people is, what are the things I always tell people that look at your qualities? I mean, what are things that you are doing now that it's easy for you that you can easily maximize with tech? For instance, if you are somebody that you are interested in art, you are interested in trying to put things together like design, all that. If you are considering a tech skill, you know that the closest by is probably UI UX designs or probably graphic design. That's if you want to go on the side of technical. If you're a salesperson, you are a customer service, you can actually venture into tech, leveraging on these skills by coming out as a customer success person or a tech salesperson. If you are someone that you are very analytical and you want to play with charts, you want to play with numbers, you could consider data analytics. If you are somebody that you are not just inclined with data, but again, you want to also go to programming, you could consider the software engineering and the software development courses as well. So that's what I want to, start with. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Akosua. I hope we are not rushing you, but let's shoot straight with the questions, because with the questions, it actually identifies what people want to know. But a few things I got, tech can be tough, but we need to join the community. With the community, will make things easier. You have communities for women, you have the one Women in Tech, and they have Tech Connect Africa. It gives you more global visibility and presence. And we are all aware that the way today is AI and technology, or rather technology. I don't know which is which, but technology is the way to go. So our question for today: amidst the abundance of tech solutions available, how can individuals or businesses discern between trendy technologies and real transformative technologies that genuinely align with their goals?
Oh, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now. I think you were a little frozen. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I missed some parts of the question.
Okay, again, amidst the abundance of tech solutions available, how can individuals or businesses discern, understand difference between trendy technologies and the transformative technologies that will genuinely align with their goals and objectives?
Okay, interesting. Okay, so
Okay, so that's plenty
again,
grammar. So let's just put it this way. We have so many apps and things in play, and we have so many people out there. So what would make us know which is just, flash in the pan, or which is the real deal in line with what we want at each point in time? What are the things we should look out for?
I think one of the key things you have to define is your business goals if you are linking it to business, because
Yeah.
what you are looking to achieve with your business would actually suggest to you or propose to you the kind of solution to go in for. So let's make it very practical. We have different facets to businesses. So maybe you want to focus on marketing, you want to focus on sales, you want to focus on accounting. Now, by defining all these facets of your business that you are looking to leverage with tech, then I can say to myself that if I'm looking to go into sales, maybe not hardcore sales, but then I need to put together my database of my customers. So if I'm going to leverage on a basic tech tool, I can say I'm going for Excel. If we are moving from even basic and we are trying to go on a senior level rather, and there's a salesperson here who is looking to explore some sales tools to help their work, maybe to put together their pipeline. They could say, oh, I'm going to look for a tool that can help me to get the emails of the customers that I can actually reach. And there are actually tools that helps you, tech tools that can actually help you to find emails of your customers. Amazingly, sometimes you don't even have to chat someone on LinkedIn and say that, oh, trying to maybe have a conversation with the person to get details of the person to send an email. There are actually tools that help you to be able to extract emails of individuals from LinkedIn. We have tools like Snove. So Snove is a sales tech tool that it gives you the avenue to extract emails from LinkedIn once you have actually connected your LinkedIn to the tool. So automatically, when I go to say Noelle's page and I actually issue the command, it can actually extract Noelle's information
Okay.
her name, sorry, the company she works with, her name, the company she works with, and any other necessary information that has been made available on her LinkedIn. So these
Fantastic.
are some basic tools that people can leverage. Sometimes it's very overwhelming because again, there are a lot of tools out there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the question
I
is,
know.
where do I
That is
start from?
exactly, sorry,
Yes.
because that's exactly why we were asking, because so many things, there's so much going on. So we just need to know what you're telling us is understand our goals and then look at whether that app is exactly what works for us. So
Yes.
basically, we understand there's a glaring gender gap in the tech industry. Why is this so?
I wanted to add a bit. Please, Sheila, do you mind if I
Go
add
ahead,
up
go
to what I
ahead,
was
go
saying?
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So in considering the fact that there are a lot of tools available, there are a lot of apps out there that sometimes it can get overwhelming. One of the things I do tell people is whenever you want to identify a tool, or maybe you do your search and their number of tools has been made available, just go on YouTube or online and try to look at videos, DIY videos as to how you can use them, because
Wow.
it will be very limiting on my side to know maybe to for me to speak to specificity of every business or every person here looking to leverage a tool. But the basic or the start for you could be once you search for, maybe you are into accounting, you could do like a normal search. You go like, I'm looking for a tech tool that enables me to put together my budget. A number of them can pop up. So you could actually select some, go on YouTube and watch videos on which one that could work for you based on the information you get there. And that makes it easier in terms of choosing.
Wow.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, that was sometimes you want to get, like I said, the elephant out of in those real tough questions. Yes, you have really touched the base with this. So I was saying there's a glaring gender gap in the tech industry. Why is this so? And what global opportunities are available for women in the tech industry? I know you've already touched about how they can access through communities, but these two questions, I think they go hand in hand. How can you speak to that?
Okay, so talk about the underrepresentation of women in tech. I mean, it's a global issue and it's something that has been there for long. But I can speak to some reasons why it's so, which looking at the past, we could tell that there were a lot of societal stereotypes where certain jobs were termed masculine. And we could even look at the fact that on the side of engineering, sometimes you go into the universities, even now, you go into the universities, and if there are, say, 30 people in a class, you can get, say, about 3 women just be in the class. Because I believe also that the skills or the various programs in tech or STEM, sorry, hasn't been made, should I say, attractive enough for women. And there's this perception that, I mean, once I'm in tech, there's a form of limitation. The funny thing is I was on a platform, a speaking platform, when people think that people have this conception that as a woman in tech, you need to dress in a certain way. You can't have your wigs, you can't have your makeups on. And all these are misconceptions that people have. So imagine young people are
Stereotypes.
coming up and they are looking to explore opportunities in tech, and then maybe they look around also and they don't see women in tech. So even in leadership roles, the ratio of men to women when it comes to tech leaders, it's low on the side of women. And that is something that has to be encouraged. Where in companies, I believe that companies have to put together um, their working environment in such a way that it's very comfortable to women. Because you see, for women in tech, once we have, as women, we have a lot of obligations, especially if you are married or you have caregiving activities that you do aside jobs. You could feel like tech is not a role for you because you feel like you have to spend your entire time behind your laptop trying to work and all that. But if we can have a lot of education or create an atmosphere in various companies that allow women to freely work as they have to aside their other obligations, I think that would encourage more women in tech. Also, on the side of government or policy, if their policy initiated to encourage or their investments made towards encouraging young people into tech by sponsoring, say, NGOs or NGOs who are embarking on education of helping more young people in tech. I think that could also help, because there are a lot of actually organizations out now trying to campaign for women in tech. And when it comes to opportunities, a lot of them has been made available for women in tech, but we still have low numbers, because also I feel like tech hasn't been made attractive enough for some of these women. And even with these organizations, there's little to which they can do because they are limited to resources. So these are some things I believe that hinder that causes underrepresentation of women in tech.
Man.
Yes.
Okay. So the next question would now be which country has the most women in tech, and why do you think that is so? If we could just handle that in about 30 seconds, because we really want to know what's happening and if we can actually look at what they are doing. So which country has the most women in tech, and what can other countries learn from them?
Okay, I think there was a follow-up, there was a question before this one. You gave me, there was a two-in-one question
Yes,
for,
okay, that's a okay. So it's
there's no
like
time I can just,
global opportunities available for women in tech, but you already tackled that when you were talking
okay,
about communities we can join and the hubs. So because we didn't have much of time, so it's which country
okay.
has the most women in technology, and what can other countries learn from them? So basically, if it's a Ghana, if it's a Nigeria, you know,
So so based on stats, there's based on variations and statistics that has happened over time, I
yeah.
can speak to just one country, but I could talk to a number of countries that have actually done well when it comes to representation of women in tech. I could speak to countries like the States, US. I could speak to countries like Canada. I could speak to countries like Portugal when it comes to their workforce. I could speak to countries like Norway. And I believe some of the things that has contributed to high representation of women in tech in this country is, for one, is some of these countries actually have invested in education for women in tech, and they've opened up opportunities to get more women in tech. Aside that, some of them have implemented initiatives. So from a very national level, they've actually made it easy or encourage more women to venture into tech. So most of these young people are coming out, or most of these young girls are coming up, and they already have tech as an option to use, other than other countries where tech is not really like a major focus in the various schools aside other studies. So they come out of school now and they know that, oh, aside what they've studied in school, they can actually learn certain tech skills. So that they could consider tech as a career. So these are some, not policies, but these are certain things that play to some of these countries having, more women in tech.
Thank you very, very much. In fact, even from the people, from our guests, the delegates, and so on, they're even adding more suggestions here. That hasn't been made attractive enough for women, focusing on giving girls an unbiased foundation. That's exactly what you said. Investment in education on tech for women helps to, set for a more inclusive, community for women. My take home from what you have told us is that there's an expected stereotype for women in tech. So like you said, they don't expect people to dress up, look good, make up, and come out presentable. So with that in mind, you don't have enough females going into that line. You also don't have education that embodies women and pushes them and creates that enabling environment for women to actually be themselves in tech. Because I can imagine you probably are programming, just that programming, and in the next, it doesn't make sense. You're programming, or it appears not to make sense, and then you're swelling your soup or grabbing the baby. but those stereotypes or norms will be broken. Thank you so much, Akosua. Thank you very, very much.